कुछ होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में इतना सा फर्क है, एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में ये अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है, वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी, ये एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं है। क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
Thank you so much, Kanika, for playing our corporate video. A very good evening, friends. I welcome you all to the Saturday edition of the Iconic series. I'm Sonia Chaudhary, and today we have amongst us Mr. Gautam, and he's the co-founder and CEO of Cuisina Food Tech. Friends, Gautam is a very seasoned and serial entrepreneur who, after completing his education from the prestigious IIM Madras and London School of Business, worked with some of the marquee companies and blue chip companies like Infosys, PwC. And this was before he set out his own entrepreneur journey. And I would also like to add, before he started Cuisina, he was also instrumental in defining the business model and blueprint of the future business of Food Panda and Ola Foods. And Cuisina, as you see, friends, on your screen, is the next generation food tech company co-founded by Gautam in the year 2013. This was about 8 years back. And this started with a single kitchen and own equity kitchens. And today, they are a multi-brand, tech-driven brand, which is running in more than 700 virtual kitchens all across the country. And they have been serving about 1 million customers. And they started 7-8 years back. And as I speak, the company has also raised funds from some credible and established players in India. And before I proceed further and request Gautam to take us through the presentation, I will also request if Gautam, you want to address all our friends who have joined in today. And friends, as we take you through the entire discussion on the business model that we want to put forward, I will also request we have a Q&A box at the bottom. Whatever questions you have during the course of the presentation, we'll like to welcome and take them in the due course. Over to you, Gautam. You're on mute.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sonia, for the kind words and the introduction. Hi, welcome everyone. Yeah, so like Sonia rightly mentioned, we started very much like most of you with one kitchen, one brand back in 2013. In fact, today is the 8th anniversary of the first brand that we started called Warm Oven. And from those humble beginnings, I think we've managed to scale this business to 50 plus kitchens with multiple brands operating from each of the kitchens across the country. So today we are present in more than 12 cities. Every kitchen has, in fact, the image which Sonia showed has to be updated. So today we have 10 brands from each kitchen, and in the process of launching a few more brands. that makes us amongst the leading cloud kitchen based companies in the country. And like you all know, this is the future of the restaurant industry. A lot of things have changed in the restaurant industry in the last 4 or 5 years. One, with the growth of platforms like Swiggy and Zomato. Secondly, also the pandemic has changed customer behavior significantly. Today, I think everything from my 7-year-old daughter's school education to the groceries which my 70-year-old mother buys, everything happens online and everything comes home, right? And restaurant food is just one other thing that comes home to our homes. So food delivery is here to stay. It is going to get only bigger and bigger. And in order to service the exploding demand of food delivery, cloud kitchens are the only solution. What I'm going to do is I'll request Kanika to play a short video to introduce all of you to Cousina, and then I'll spend about 20 minutes walking you through our model.
Cousina, the leading cloud kitchen business in India, invites you to be a part of the next big food revolution. Having served millions of customers over the last 8 years across 12 cities, we are proud to bring you an opportunity to cater multiple brands from one cloud kitchen. How is this so powerful? It is our technology-driven system that provides lip-smacking food and seamless operation. It all starts with our highly talented chefs creating world-class recipes of cakes, burgers, rolls, momos, ice creams, and many. Precision and automation are no more a myth. Our proprietary tools powered by our servers ensures maintaining a consistent quality across every location. We can now launch multiple brands across multiple cities in an instant. Today, we have 7+ owned brands such as Warm Oven, Indiana Burgers, Kati Zone, across 50+ kitchens and across 12+ cities. We are Cousina. Join the food revolution.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think that video pretty much summarizes what we are. Yes, some numbers there keep changing because we are also fast evolving, fast growing company. So it says 7 brands, but we've now already launched a few other brands. So we have we have brands in the category of burgers, rolls, cakes, momos, milkshakes, and as we speak, also trying to do a pilot in the biryani category, which is the largest category sold online. And as this evolves, we will also launch into a few other categories. Right? But before I do that, let me just share my screen and walk you through the opportunity. And by the end of it, we can probably spend about 20 minutes on the Q&A. Just give me a second. I hope my screen is visible to everybody. Can somebody confirm, please?
Yes, it's visible. If we can take it to full screen.
Yes, doing that. Yeah. Okay. So firstly, let me just start by saying we don't call it franchising internally. We call it Cousina Kitchen Partners, and that's what we are here to talk about. And we call it, we specifically use the word partners because I think we strongly believe that our success and your success are linked together. And we play a significant role in supporting entrepreneurs such as yourselves along the journey, right? I think from the starting point, which is basically location survey to onboarding on aggregators to launching the kitchen with help of our team, to on an ongoing basis helping you get sales, helping you do the marketing on various platforms. We play a very, very involved role, and that is where we believe that it is a partnership and not a franchising model like how it happens in most franchising businesses, right? I think by now you already know what we are about, but we are just to kind of summarize and recap, we are a leading next generation cloud kitchen company, and we operate across multiple categories and multiple brands. And all of this is powered by food delivery and also takeaway angle to it, right? Where we encourage all our local partners, local entrepreneurs to work on takeaway experiences for customers in the cities or locations that you're present in, right? It's not a dine-in opportunity. There will be no seating. There will be absolutely no place for customers to sit down and consume the product, but they can order the food through online platforms, whether it is a Swiggy, Zomato, Amazon, or our own platform, and get the food delivered to their doorstep or their homes, or come to the kitchen, pick up the food and carry it home on their own, right? But consumption will happen outside of the premises of the kitchen, but people can, either they can order through online platforms or basically order and carry the food themselves, right? By doing this, what happens is that we are not setting up expensive restaurants which are prohibitively expensive, because typically in a restaurant, 2/3 of the cost goes into the seating area with fancy lights, tables, etc. Our cloud kitchen model essentially reduces the cost of setting up a restaurant per se, because our ordering experience is largely online and only 1/3 of the space is typically required to run a kitchen. So before, let me just start with the larger opportunity, right? Why is it a very big opportunity, right? I mean, already in the last 5 years, I think when we started in 2013 and when I spent a couple of years at Ola, food delivery, because of Swiggy, Zomato, Uber Eats, Food Panda, etc., was evolving to be a very big category in India. But if you now look at it today, I think more than 20 crore people or 200 million people order food from these platforms every single day. On every single day or on a monthly basis. Each of those platforms, Zomato is now a publicly listed company, very large, successful company. Swiggy is on its way. They do millions of orders every single day, and food delivery is here to stay. But the traditional restaurant model is not meant for food delivery. Already about 10% of orders that go on food delivery platforms are serviced through cloud kitchens, and this number will only increase, right? Cloud kitchens are expected to be a $3 billion industry in the next couple of years, and they're growing very, very fast. And we are perhaps the only and maybe one of the very few cloud kitchen companies which work on a partner model, offering multiple of our brands to partners such as yourselves to enable success across different locations. Very quickly, what are the benefits of all of this, right? So you can run multiple brands from the same location. Because we are not having a dine-in presence, these locations tend to be low rental locations. Generally, the setup cost, the investment is very, very low as compared to running a restaurant. Optimized operations, equipment, skills, everything is optimized, and there's a significant technology aspect of running this business. But like I said, most importantly, there's constant support by an experienced team, which starts with me, my co-founders, and the rest of the team at Cousina, who's there to support you or any of our partners on an ongoing basis, right? And based on our own experience, we expect to see an 8 to 10 times return on the capital that is invested in about 5 years. That's the financial benefit of doing all of this, right? So to just summarize, I think food is a big opportunity in our country. Like they say, roti, kapda, makan. These are the three big things that sell in India. We are selling roti. Increasingly, that consumption is moving to online platforms, food delivery platforms, and it has to be serviced from cloud kitchens like us, right? So it's a very big opportunity. Cloud kitchens are the way to go for the restaurant industry. And at Cousina, we have further improved on that model, or improvised on that model, or innovated on that model using multi-brand cloud kitchens and building a technology platform which allows us and any of our partners to run this business anywhere in the country seamlessly. And along the way, since we believe that it's a partnership model, we would have our team supporting you throughout this journey. For as long as you are our partner, we will work closely with you to help you succeed in the location. And by doing all of this, obviously financially, all of us get a very good return. I briefly covered it, but in terms of numbers, just the food delivery business, which was about $4 billion in 2020, is expected to go 10 times, almost 10 times in the next 10 years, right? India is just getting started on it. And if you look at the numbers on the right, both USA, China, all markets have become very big in food delivery. And India, there's no reason to believe that India won't go in that direction. We kind of covered it, but what I'm just trying to say is that food is a very big opportunity. I think $100 billion, which translates into a very big number in terms of rupee crores, in India is spent by consumers on buying food from restaurants, right? And as this evolves with food delivery becoming big, there's an opportunity to participate in that with a multi-brand crowd kitchen. Yeah, so this is briefly about us. Multiple brands from the same kitchen, very attractive kitchen economics because we have multiple brands going from the same kitchen. We are catering to different needs of the customer. So if in any market, if you take a market, let's say in a city like Meerut, right? And if you open a kitchen in Meerut, consumers would look for burgers, consumers would look for cakes, consumers may look for biryani, pizza, milkshakes, etc. So we will have all of these categories present in our kitchen as the model starts to scale up, right? And by doing that, we capture the multiple customers' demand from multiple opportunities, and that helps us get the volume in the kitchen and hence make the kitchen very, very profitable. Today we have, like I said, about 10 brands in different categories. As we evolve, we will keep adding more and more brands, right? And as we add more and more brands, there will be an opportunity to get more and more orders at the kitchen, which will translate into better profits and economics at a kitchen level. That is in a just our model. Same kitchen, same set of people, and multiple brands operating from the kitchen, which allows us to capture and cater to different requirements of the same customer in any particular market. And this typically operates in a, let's say, 3 to 5 kilometer catchment area. So in a 3 to 5 kilometer catchment area, whatever kind of food the customer wants, we will try and service that. Yeah, I think Sonia had already done the introduction, but just to recap, these are the most updated numbers. So we have about 50 kitchens live and another 10 plus kitchens which are in the process of going live. By kitchen, what I mean is a physical location. And across the multiple online platforms, we operate more than 1,000 virtual restaurants, which is essentially on platforms like Swiggy, Zomato, Amazon, Magic Pin, our own platform, etc. So we have 1,000 plus virtual restaurants listed there, right? From each of the kitchen, we have 10 food brands today. And like I said, we will be launching more and more brands from these kitchens. We've served more than 1 million plus customers, especially in the cakes category, where we started with a brand called Warm Oven, where today is the 8th anniversary of Warm Oven. We've sold more than 500,000 cakes. In the burgers and rolls category, we've sold more than 750,000 burgers and rolls till date. That is also because one of the brands that we own, a brand called Cartizone, is about 17 years old. It was a brand that had a strong presence in multiple airports, which we acquired, and it's now part of our portfolio. Yeah, we kind of covered this, but broadly, to summarize, we operate in large underpenetrated online categories. All of our brands start off online. We look at utilization at a kitchen level by adding new brands so that we are able to generate more and more orders from the kitchen. And we look at a lot of data to make those decisions. So for example, when we started with Warm Oven, we realized that cakes are sold for a specific occasion. And we could leverage, or we could utilize the same kitchen and the same people for multiple other requirements a customer has. So we then started launching a burger brand, and then we launched a roll brand, and then we now launched a Momo brand. Similarly, using the same warm oven capability, we launched a cupcake brand called Cupcake Bliss. We launched a milkshake brand called Slurpee Shakes. And so on and so forth. We'll continue to add additional brands. The operating model is very, very simple because we same set of people, same set of equipments to a very large extent. We try to increase the order volumes, right? And this happens through a combination of fresh and frozen supply chains, where we will extend support to all of our partners in procuring the raw materials. The next few slides quickly kind of give you an idea of all of the brands that we have. I've covered most of these names as we were speaking. Yeah, so this is an important aspect of our whole business. Since we start with an online model and of course then encourage people to do takeaways, etc. in the location, significant part of the operations, the technology and the discovery which the customer does about our brands happens through online platforms. So we have an in-house technology platform, IT platform, which is given to all of our partners, which will allow you to run the operations and ensure that you manage, you maintain this kind of rating. So that happens through the IT platform, where we monitor and manage every single order, whether it's a positive feedback or negative feedback from the customer, and try and improve on it if there is a negative feedback. That's one part of it. Then there's a regular routine operations processes that are set up to ensure that every kitchen is following the required SOPs. Then we have an audit process, and then my culinary team will intervene or help partners anytime they require help. And by doing all of this, our brands generally have the best rating in their categories, which leads to better orders from customers, because as a customer, you would only want to buy from the best brand that is available to you, right? And in the online world, the best brand is basically the person who has the best rating given by a large number of customers. I think Sonia has introduced me a little bit, but I'm not the only one. Any successful business, including the ones that you may set up, will require a good team to enable that, and that's the recipe for any success. So like Sonia said, my background, I was prior to this at Ola, where I was instrumental in setting up the food business. Before that, I was an entrepreneur where I had set up a different business in the technology space. In terms of, I'm an engineer in MBA by education. Along with me, I have Mahesh, who's my co-founder and COO. He used to be at Flipkart and Amazon before this. And before that, he ran a offline restaurant brand called Chocolate Room in Bangalore. Again, much like me, he's an engineer in MBA. Third co-founder, Sumit, has managed and run large technology IT product teams for global companies, where he was responsible for building products that are used in the food retail industry. And we obviously use a lot of that experience in helping us create the IT systems that are required to help us succeed in this model. And Rohan, who's the fourth co-founder, comes from the restaurant industry, where he's run and managed restaurants operations. And like Sonia says, we are lucky and privileged to have the backing of some of the most successful global entrepreneurs. Some of their names are here. Yeah. So roughly, this is how the economics would work. I think some of these things are also changing, evolving as we go through the journey. Typically, it would cost anywhere from 13 to 16 lakhs to set up a kitchen. And like I said, 8 to 10 times return in 5 years and a payback in about 18 months. Out of the initial investment, there is some registration fee that we expect to get from partners, and then the rest of it goes into the setup of the kitchen. In terms of the economics itself, once the kitchen is set up, we help you manage the sales through online platforms, which is Swiggy, Zomato. So there's an account manager which is assigned to a particular partner location, and he is working closely with you to help in getting the orders there. So he will give you inputs, and ultimately you will have to make the decision, but my team will be very constantly engaged with you along this journey, right? So there are three ways in which you can get business at the location. Like I said, first is basically what we call offline local sales, which is the takeaway business, where 95% of the total sale value gets is retained by you. We only keep about 5%. That also we are making some changes to make it more attractive to partners. So if any of you is interested at that point in time, the team will discuss with you on what could be the potential changes there. Similarly, when you sell through an online aggregator like a Swiggy or a Zomato, 90% of the sale value gets transferred to you. This is obviously after adjusting for any commission that a Swiggy or a Zomato would take. Right? We also have our own channel, which is our website through which we generate orders and sales. In that particular case, we invest in the marketing, we invest in the technology required to manage the website, and the order, if it happens to be from your city or your location, will get assigned to you. And in that particular case, 75% of the order value gets transferred to the partner. Right? Just going back to the registration fee itself, while it says 5 lakh rupees here, it is largely the fees, which is 5 lakhs is the fee for metro cities, and we have a structure based on the tier of the city, because we recognize that all cities are not the same, right? So that will also bring down the number, especially if you're interested in a tier 2 or a tier 3 city, and we can obviously share that as we go through this process. Yeah, but here's the most important part. I think we play a very active role in helping you succeed. And we do that through broadly what I call 4 different areas of expertise that we bring in. All of this backed by a proprietary technology platform. Right? The first one is basically on the supply chain part, which is basically the raw materials, packaging materials. We identify the right vendors with respect to raw materials, and you will be able to procure from the right vendors, and that process is fairly set and it keeps improving. So the rates are negotiated, the right vendors are decided, and you will have to buy from these vendors. So makes it very easy for you to start operations because of a supply chain which is already working, available across the country. The second is the operations management, which is basically, like I said, there'll be an area manager or an account manager assigned to your account, along with an auditor who will work with you or your team on a regular basis to ensure that all the operations are running seamlessly every single day. Right? This is supported by an online technology platform where there are videos of every single recipe that you as partners can or your team can view, and whenever they have a doubt, they can actually go through it and see how a particular item can be prepared. But one other aspect of that is every single person in the kitchen will go through a mandatory training process so that we are clear that they understand what is need to be done. 2 other aspects, which is on the sales side, which is the brand management, which is for every single location, every single brand that we launch. We manage the social media, Facebook, Instagram, and all of these other platforms to create content and publish the content, which allows you to generate awareness and recall in that particular location for that brand. And we do that to support every one of our locations. Revenue management is largely about sales. So my team will work with you constantly on a regular basis to ensure that we are able to get business through Swiggy and Zomato. What we expect from the partner is to find ways to generate the takeaway or the offline business. There we will give you ideas. We will suggest best practices from some of the other kitchens, other locations that we've done this, and recommend you to implement that. But we really need your support in driving that part of the business. And because you put in the effort, most of the reward will also go to you. Yeah, this is slightly more detail on the what is available. So when it comes to revenue management, we'll work with you to onboard on all of the aggregators. We manage the menu, the photos, the images, the description. Like they say, jo dikhta hai wo bikta hai, right? So especially in the online world, it takes a lot to manage the menu because the images have to be perfect. You have to the descriptions have to be perfect because you have to tell the customer what is it that he or she is going to get in through images, through words, etc. So all of that research, the management of the menu is done by my team, and my team will also work very closely with Swiggy, Zomato, and any other new aggregator to ensure that we are able to drive volume through your kitchen at that particular location. Right? And the other aspect of revenue management is also on the packaging part, because in this particular case, the customer is about 2-3 kilometers away. So the packaging is an important aspect of how the delivery happens. So we spend a lot of time and research in ensuring that the packaging is perfect. Like I said, I think on the operations management side, there's regular handholding during the launch itself, where my team will help give you some inputs on the location survey, help on the kitchen layout, equipment, and staff hiring, so that you are able to launch within 30 days of signing up. That is a target which my operations teams have, and I'm proud to say that in general we've always met the target. We will also basically give you access to all of the SOPs through this online platform, so that culinary process and hygiene is maintained. Like I said, there is regular training and continuous assessment of staff, so that the operations are running seamlessly. And then there is regular data-driven improvement of the process, where you have access to the kitchen dashboard or the day system, and all the metrics are at your fingertips, so that you are able to improve it. Finally, I think, like I said, product launches, new brand launches, the opportunity is not restricted to the current 10 brands or the items that we have on the menu of these 10 brands. We will continue to launch newer brands in newer categories, and all of that is available to any partner who signs up with us, right? And we will continue to add new products, new items in the existing menu, which will also continue to help us improve the sales. Technology, I will not go into a lot of detail on it, but I think we've invested a lot of effort and money into building this platform, so that we are able to manage kitchens across the country very easily, and you will get access to all of that. Right? Yeah, so I think in summary, I think online enabled kitchens, as we call it, is the future of the $100 billion restaurant industry. We've seen it very closely, having played an important role in shaping the direction of this industry, be it at my previous role at Ola or at Cuisine in the last few years, with our own equity kitchens, as well as the number of partners who signed up with us. And we believe that it's a big opportunity, and if we are able to join forces here, together we can conquer this industry. This opportunity is only going to get bigger and better with time, and with support from partners who sign up with us, I think we can create a much larger portfolio of brands, and in the process all of us can succeed, right? And how do we do that? We will support you on everything that's got to do with online. So we will manage that, use the expertise that we've built over years of running this business in helping you get orders through online platforms. We will expect you to do the same thing in your local geographies, so that jointly we benefit from this. There's just a few images of how the kitchens, etc. look, and how the signage at the kitchens look, so that we are able to get takeaway orders. I will take a pause here. There are a few videos. I think one of them was played by Kanika at the outset. Let me just play another video, and after that we can take questions. Let me see if...
कुजीना, इंडिया का लीडिंग क्लाउड किचन बिजनेस। हम आपको बड़े फूड रेवोल्यूशन का हिस्सा बनाने के लिए इनवाइट करते हैं। पिछले 8 सालों में 12 शहरों के कई मिलियन कस्टमर्स को सर्व करने के बाद हमें गर्व है कि हम आपको एक ही क्लाउड किचन से कई सारे ब्रांड्स को केटर करने का मौका दे रहे हैं। ये इतना पावरफुल कैसे है? ये हमारा टेक्नोलॉजी ड्रिवन सिस्टम है, जो टेस्टी खाने के साथ ही साथ आसान ऑपरेशन भी प्रोवाइड करता है। ये सब शुरू होता है हमारे बहुत ही टैलेंटेड शेफ्स के केक्स, बर्गर्स, रोल्स, मोमोज, आइसक्रीम आदि की वर्ल्ड क्लास रेसिपीज के साथ प्रिसीजन और ऑटोमेशन अब कोई मिथ नहीं रह गए हैं। हमारे सर्वर्स द्वारा पावर किए गए प्रोप्राइटरी टूल ये सुनिश्चित करते हैं कि हम हर लोकेशन पर कंसिस्टेंट क्वालिटी मेंटेन कर पाएं। अब हम मल्टीपल शहरों में मल्टीपल ब्रांड्स लॉन्च कर सकते हैं। आज हमारे पास वार्म ओवन, इंडियाना बर्गर्स, कार्टी जोन जैसे 7 से ज्यादा ब्रांड्स हैं 12 से ज्यादा शहरों में। साथ ही 50 से ज्यादा किचन्स हैं। हम कुजीना है। फूड रेवोल्यूशन को ज्वाइन करें।
Great. Thank you so much, Gautam. A very detailed presentation is what, I would say. There's another video that we're playing too.
No, let me 1 second. Let me just pause the video.
All right. Friends, I see a lot of questions already coming in. You can put as many questions and do mention the city also, and we'll take up your questions. We have the next 10 to 15 odd minutes. And post this, we are also hosting a discovery day with Mr. Gautam, where all of you who want to have one-to-one discussion, and if you are local in that city, we'll try to have even a face-to-face meeting. So, before I would say this value proposition is very, very clear. Now, where Cuisina is controlling the entire brand and the food experience, and the partner, which is you, prospective partner, he has the responsibility of controlling the entire management, and he needs to have the entire management capabilities to run and operate the kitchens. Where, as a potential or as a franchisee yourself, you can leverage the entire data and tech platform of Cuisina. And this is something which I would say is inaccessible mostly by a lot of players who claim to be cloud kitchen operators. And even if it is expensive for somebody to sustain at that cost. And because they're running multiple kitchens across multiple locations, multiple cuisines, they have been able to leverage their tech platform and also the data today which is available, because of which they are also able to give a lot of intelligent inputs to their partners, what is being in demand and what locations would do well. Having said that, in the last, I would say 2-3 months of their launch of franchise model, all the kitchens which they have been running in the last many years have been all equity kitchens, their own investment. And for the very first time, they've launched a partner model. And because Cuisina is designed with technology in mind, and I heard Gautam also talk about the optimization, and I would term that optimization as POS, where they have optimized the entire processes, which is very, very important, especially in case of a cloud kitchen. They have optimized also the entire ordering procedure and optimized the entire staff scheduling. And these three are very, very important. And all that optimization can only happen if you have insights on the consumer behavior, which the company has control based on their technology intelligence which has been built in. At the same time, the menu also is something which can be adapted to suit the demand and optimization of the model over a given period of time. And this model comparatively does not have too much of dependence on the chef, right? Easy to bring standardization because it is assembly line. And its emphasis is primarily on delivering quality food through a network of hyper local kitchens. And while the presentation was going on, I was just on Zomato searching some of the brands name, and I'm sure when you do that, you'll find many of these brands in your neighborhood also. So cloud kitchen, they're very, very localized business, and meaning that every location should be able to adapt to the offering to the local demand. And that is what the Cuisina is also doing. They're bringing a new innovation in their menu offering for the end consumer. So therefore, a very clear understanding of supply and demand patterns, which is the key of success in this business. So friends, before I take up all your questions, and you can keep writing as many questions we are able to take up. Gautam, my first question, and there has been a big uptick in terms of cloud kitchen demand in the last 1.5 odd years, ever since the pandemic has hit. And being, I would say, a leading player or a front runner in this business, I would like to ask you, and also your perspective, because a lot of people, sometimes compare cloud kitchen QSR and how the business looks like maybe in the next 5 or 6 years. So what is your own outlook on, the sustainability of the business? And I would say in the next 4-5 odd years as we speak.
Sure. Thanks for that, Sonia. Look, I think, like I said, we strongly believe that cloud kitchens are the future of the restaurant industry, not just in India. Globally, I think we've seen a lot of large companies, large players emerge, because there's a big difference between an offline restaurant and an online restaurant. Offline restaurant, you go there, you sit down, you wait for your order. Nobody tells you कि आपका order 5 मिनट में आएगा या 7 मिनट में आएगा, आप बैठते हो, खाना मिलता है, right? But online is all about within 30 minutes, from the time of your order, you have to receive the order as a customer. Swiggy and Zomato, their algorithms work on this 30-minute expectation of the customer, and everything in the kitchen operations that you do has to be optimized to be in sync with that, right? So online therefore becomes, or a cloud kitchen business therefore becomes, like you rightly said, lot more about optimization, lot more about data, lot more about technology, because without that you will not be able to cater to the demand, right? Now if you now look at this is the future for online food delivery. This is the future of online the restaurant industry. What will happen in the next 4 or 5 years is, unfortunately, because of the pandemic, a lot of restaurants are shutting down, right? But consumers continue to order. I think when you're bored, you tend to eat more. When you are in a lockdown, you tend to order more, right? Both Swiggy, Zomato, Zomato has had a very successful IPO because their numbers are very attractive. The orders are continuing to grow. Both of them have continued to grow, right? Now, where will that demand be serviced from? Customer orders on Swiggy, Zomato, he orders a biryani or a cake. Where will it go from? It has to go from a cloud kitchen like us, right? So both Swiggy and Zomato also very strongly believe that a significant part of their demand itself will be serviced from cloud kitchens like us, right? And obviously, as a front runner, as we start to expand across the country, I think we start to become a very important partner to Swiggy and Zomato, and they will also continue to remain, invested, supportive of our success along the way, right? So, in terms of sustainability, I think from a demand and market perspective, there's absolutely no doubt that this is the future of the industry. Number one, and number two. As the industry starts to evolve, both Swiggy and Zomato will want to see more and more cloud kitchens succeed, right? Because cloud kitchens are optimized for food delivery, whereas a restaurant is not necessarily optimized for food delivery, right? In terms of obviously the economics of a cloud kitchen, because from the same kitchen, same investment, same location, same people, you are trying to get more and more orders across different categories. Every order, food is inherently a high gross margin business. Of course, there are some operating costs in running a kitchen. If instead of 100 orders, if you do 200 orders, your profits will continue to increase, right? And that's what we bring as a brand or as an entity, where we will continue to invest in the research and development of newer products and newer menus. And every time we come up with something new, that will all be made available to any partner of ours at no additional cost.
Correct.
So demand will be there. We will continue to add more and more products, etc., which will continue to improve the volume, which will eventually lead to much better economics at a kitchen level. And like I think there was a brief mention of the economics at mature kitchens in my slide itself. I mean, our mature kitchens do almost close to 30 lakhs of business customer billing at a single location, and at that point in time, there's almost close to 20-25% net profit at a kitchen level, right? Of course, it takes time to build up into that level of demand, but this is the best in class economics you can see in the restaurant industry.
Absolutely. Right. Quickly, Gautam, I'll also take some questions. I see some of our prospective partners putting them. I'll take one question from Vipin Gautam, and he's asking, are there any specifications with respect to the location and the area which is required, a suitable area for onboarding of a partner? And when he says location, I would also like to pick your mind, because cloud kitchens, unlike the other kitchens, require different kind of spaces to be in. While these might not be prime spots, but you still need to be in the right neighborhood so that you have more volumes coming in. Over to you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think when you say location, there are two parts to it. One is where do you set up the kitchen, and second is how much space do you require to set up the kitchen. On the first part of where do you set up the kitchen, what we do typically is that we look at the data from multiple angles. and do what we call a location survey, which will help us identify the right place to set up a kitchen, right? We look at, this is largely demand and order volume data from multiple sources, and help us define what is the right location. That's the location survey part of it. Now, how much space do you require to set up a kitchen? Typically, we across the current set of brands that we operate, we would recommend about anywhere between, roughly about, let's say 700, 800 square feet to run the kitchen, right? And thirdly, I think obviously there's always an option of not necessarily being on the main street, etc. Because as we go through this, there's a good part of the orders which will come through online platforms. So you don't necessarily need to be in the most expensive location wherever you are.
Another thing, and we did talk about the unit economics also, especially unit economics when it comes to a cloud kitchen. There are different economic drivers, whether that's the rental, whether that's the food cost, so all that is something which is very different to other food. So would you want to comment a little bit, on typical, rentals, idle spots for operating? What is the idle food cost that comes into consideration, and any other expenses that you think are higher or lower operating a cloud kitchen versus the other food outlets?
So generally speaking, most of the expenses are lower as compared to operating an offline retail food outlet, whether it's a QSR or any other kind of restaurant, right? Fundamentally, like I said, you only need 1/3 of the space as compared to a regular restaurant, and that space itself need not be on a very expensive road. So your rental costs are typically very, very low. In a large metro city like Bangalore, where we have about 22 kitchens, significant part of them are our own equity kitchens. Our maximum rental is about, let's say, approximately about 40,000 rupees for the kitchen. Right? If you look at it, any average restaurant anywhere in the country, whether it's a tier 1, tier 2 city, at 40,000, you will not be able to set up a location at all. So rentals are significantly low. We operate the kitchens typically from 8 a.m. to 3 a.m. So you are able to generate or cater to demand throughout different parts of the day, which again is not possible in most of the restaurants. Of course, we operate in multiple shifts, etc. This is from the same kitchen, same equipment, two shifts to cater to demand across different parts of the day, which increases the average number of orders or volumes that you can do from a kitchen. Typically, the food cost would be about 35%. Food plus packaging would be in the range of about 35%. Of course, it could vary from item and category. Especially in cakes, the food cost is much lower because you can always, because customer is ordering for a special occasion, they're more than happy to pay a little extra if the product is really good. But on average, at a company level, it is around that 35%, so which is roughly the same as most people in the food industry, or maybe a little lower as compared to other categories. Right. Where are the costs a little different? Of course, when you do business through online platforms like Swiggy and Zomato, they do expect to take a certain commission. But the advantage that we bring to the table is that because we are now 50 plus kitchens, 1,000 virtual restaurants, we have the ability to negotiate with them and ensure that the commissions are best in class and never increased or there's a pressure on commissions. And we also, given the size and scale, we also try to negotiate with them for some marketing support, right? Both of which would help the business.
Absolutely. And, Gautam, you did talk about the franchise fees, while the overall setup cost is about 8 to 11, and 8 to 11 is because our partner is also given the liberty of maybe even buying second-hand equipment if that is available. And then 5 lakh fee is also split based on the tier that you enter. Would you want to comment, and give an example, what tier and what kind of fee structure would that be?
Sure, absolutely. So let me first answer the equipment setup costs just in a little bit more detail. See, we have a standard set of equipments which once you sign up, the team will share with you, right? And ultimately, we believe that as long as the equipment really works and does its job, it doesn't matter where you buy it from or who you buy it from. So we are completely open to the idea of any of our partners buying second-hand equipment equipment if they have access to it. And in today's day and age, when, like I said, restaurants are shutting down, bakeries are shutting down, I think there are opportunities to do that in different parts of the country. And if that happens, the cost of launching reduces, and we have nothing against it. Ultimately, it's a business. We have to make money, you have to make money, and anything that helps us to make money or improve our ROI, etc., we are supportive of it, because we would have done the same thing, right? So there are no rules which are binding you, because we are the brand and you are the partner, which again is flexibility that is available, which is perhaps never seen before in the food franchising industry. On the fees itself, I think while the presentation said 5 lakh rupees plus GST, that is largely for tier 1 cities. These are essentially the large metros that we talk about, which is a Bangalore, Delhi, NCR region, Mumbai, Pune, Hyderabad, Calcutta, Chennai, etc. As we go down the tiers, and we have mapped the tiers based on the demand volume across cities, the fee structure itself goes down. So the next tier, which is what we call as tier 1A, is at about 3.5 lakhs registration fee, and accordingly it keeps lowering down as we go into the other tiers. Like, for example, I see that Ashish has made a comment about Kolhapur.
Yes.
I can't remember whether we classify Kolhapur as a tier 1A or tier 2, but Ashish, to answer your question, just for your benefit, the fees for Kolhapur will not be 5 lakh rupees for sure. It will be lower than that, and it would be based on the tiered structure in that where that city falls in the larger scheme of things.
Sure. And I think his question was also, do we have any outlet, and there's a possibility for them putting up one there, while we have some locations in Pune where we have some cloud kitchens operating. So is that operating in Kolhapur was also another question from him.
Yes, I see that. No, Ashish, we do not have any outlets yet in Kolhapur. If you're keen, we'd be happy to kind of engage with you and see if we can launch in Kolhapur.
Sure. But another thing, because we have a lot of brands, and we have 10 odd brands with the introduction of 2 as we speak. And this was a question which I also had in mind. And I also saw one of the pictures, which was Warm Oven, which is, I don't know, that's a retail outlet of Warm Oven, or that's a part of the entire cloud kitchen setup. And I think that's where the question I see from Mr. Vipin Gaud. He says, it's a combination of a couple of questions which I want to take it together. One, is it both vegetarian, non-vegetarian cuisines offering menu? And is there a choice which a franchisee would have if he wants to select maybe amongst the brands that we have?
Yeah, so first question is about Warm Oven, right? Warm Oven is one of our leading brands, and that particular picture that you've seen is basically the signage at the kitchen. It's not a retail outlet. We encourage customers to do a takeaway. It's from our Mangalore partner outlet, where we put up that signage so that there's some takeaway business, and happy to say that it does work, and people do come and pick up cakes. And when they are picking up cakes, they're also ordering a roll or a burger or a milkshake while they're waiting for the cake to be finished, right? And we encourage people to do that, because that helps drive the business. And of course, the Swiggy, Zomato commissions are not there for such business, right? And we have to put up that signage. Now, on Vipin's question about veg versus non-veg, I think the menu has both veg and non-veg items, right? But if you as a partner are particular about only doing veg items in your menu, we are supportive of that, but with the understanding or caveat that there will be a drop in order volumes, because in any market there are all kinds of customers who would buy veg as well as non-veg. So now suddenly you are reducing your customer base, because the people who buy non-veg will not come to you, right? But that's a choice that if you were to make it, we are okay with it, because ultimately it is your business, and you have to make those choices yourself. The third question that you had, Sonia, is about do people have a choice of one brand or take all brands in total? Our model is all brands from the same kitchen, and as we add more and more brands, all of those additional brands also would be available to the partners. The reason we do that is, like I said, in any market, in a hyper-local market of 3 to 5 kilometers catchment area, right, customers order food from different kinds of categories. There'll be somebody who wants a cake, there'll be somebody else who wants a biryani, third person wanting a burger, etc. Since we have the kitchen, we have the capability of creating different menus, different products. By operating across multiple categories, we are actually improving the economics of the kitchen. We are reducing the risk of any failure at a kitchen level, because now we have, instead of just doing 10 orders in one category, you can do 100, 200 orders across multiple categories. So it is rather an advantage to operate in multiple categories than a disadvantage, if at all, right?
Yes, and also, a lot of players who have been doing even single branded kitchens, many of them had not been successful in the past because almost your fixed costs are similar. You end up paying the same rentals, and there's not much change also in the manpower. And multi-brand kitchens help you bring higher efficiencies. And second, this business has long trading hours. And like Gautam mentioned, starting from early in the morning till late in the evening, you have different options to be offered, which helps in bringing better efficiencies for a cloud kitchen. So that's very helpful.
No, I think absolutely you've summed it up in that one keyword, which is efficiency, right? If we operate more efficiently with more orders coming across multiple categories, the kitchen itself becomes a lot more profitable, right? And that is really the name of the game in cloud kitchens. And efficiency comes from multiple categories, using the same kitchen, same equipment, same people, across different categories throughout the day. And of course, then we come in with our own additional categories and using of data and technology to help improve on the efficiency. But that is essentially the gist of the model.
And friends, as we come towards the end of our webinar today, and I see a lot of questions coming in, and some of you have also asked for the presentation, including Mr. Pulkit Sethi. Our teams at Franchise India, they're working all across the country, and based on the city, the region that you are, our regional team of Franchise India will get in touch with all of you, and we'll share the entire working of the business model and also the presentation, so that when you come for a call or maybe a face-to-face meeting, you have all the information with you. And we are holding that in the coming week, and we'll have complete details shared with you, and we'll block time with Mr. Gautam and his team, which is also present all across all regions. I would say east, west, north, south. They have teams working in all these locations. So you can reach out, friends, on the hotline number of Franchise India and also the email ID. Our teams are starting Monday will reach out to you, share maybe a preferred slot which is convenient for both the team at Cuisina and at your end. And Gautam, as we close, I will also request, do you want to sum up and any message that you think you would want to give to all the participants out there?
No, I think, like I said, food, roti kapda makan is what people always want. Food business will always be there in the country, and that world is changing from people going to a restaurant to people ordering from a restaurant through online platforms. And if that continues to happen, which is what is happening, cloud kitchens are the future. Right? Now, if that happens, we are here to kind of capture that opportunity. If people sign up, I think jointly we can win this whole big new world of online ordering from cloud kitchens. So look forward to answering any questions as people sign up for the follow-up events that you have. And along with me, my team will be there along with Sonia and her team to address any questions and take it forward. It's a large opportunity. We've already kind of done 50 plus kitchens. We've signed up a number of partners across the country. Some of our earlier partners are successful and happy that they've already set up their second locations. So whatever I've told you is already proven in real life. And we're open to launching in a number of cities, and hopefully some of you would sign up for that.
Thank you so much, Gautam. And that's one thing I always tell our a lot of investors who come to us, what should be the criteria for us to choose a brand. And I always tell, this is one of the things. And you mentioned, one of your partners, and many of your partners have even gone ahead and taken the second. And that itself is a testimony to the trust. And
absolutely. Let me add a little bit more color to what you just said, which is we have a partner in Mangalore who's started with one location, has a second location. We have a partner in Bhubaneswar who started with one location, and then there were 2 partners who set up a big kitchen. Now they have said that one will be owned by one of them and the second kitchen will be done by the second one. We have a partner in Delhi who set up 2 kitchens. And we do have others who seem interested in setting up additional locations, and all of this is less than a year old, right? All of this is less than a year old. So I think whatever I have told you or any of the participants on this conversation, which is the extent of support that we provide, all of this is, the output, the outcome which we have seen, which is Mangalore setting up the second kitchen, Bhubaneswar setting up the second kitchen, is an outcome of all the efforts that we've jointly put with the partners, supporting them along the way, helping them scale up the business. And of course, once they see enough money here, they're going to set up the next location. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Gautam. And thank you all our friends for being with us for the last 1 hour. And I will request that we have put our hotline number and the email ID. You can take a note of that. You can email on the email ID and also reach out to us. And before we close, I'll request Kanika, if you can, put the last couple of slides as a closing remark to all the teams. To all our investors, sorry.
Business opportunity. Thank you all for joining the webinar. You may always connect with us on our hotline number 971-768-3838. You may also connect with our management, Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am, on their LinkedIn accounts. Monday, we are bringing another interesting business opportunity for all of you. Brand name is Rocking Bees, which is world's #1 excess inventory and open box brand. You can register for the webinar with the help of links provided on our social handles. Once again, thank you so much for your time. Have a good day ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kanika. Friends, this is a webinar happening on Monday. If you want, you can register. You can reach out on the hotline number or email ID. You will get the link. And I have a great Saturday and a great weekend ahead. Thank you so much, Gautam. Great.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Look forward to engaging with some of the participants in future discussions.
Look forward. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good weekend.